Oh, hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. You're watching Rebel Roundup, Rebel News' daily news and opinion show. I am disoriented because I'm on the wrong side of the screen from my usual
Yes.
position. I'm your host, Sheila Gunnerine. I'm joined today by my real life best friend in the whole wide world, Lise Merle from Regina, Saskatchewan. Lise, how's it going?
Oh, well, good morning, Sheila Gunreed, and good morning, Canada. It is an absolutely sweltering hot, perfect Saskatchewan summer day today. And we got a pretty great show for you, too, lined up. If not for you, Sheila Gunreed, how would I ever process all of the good news coming out of Canada right
Right.
now?
Before we came on air, I said there are a lot of our new Canada sure is great stories on the board today.
We're going to tell you
And
all about them.
oh, yeah, let's go through the downfall of Canada together. Sorry we're late. I am babysitting sourdough starters, and my daughter is away, and so I have her sourdough starter, and it is a full-time job keeping up with hers and mine. And Lisa and I have decided that just going on the heavy hints here for her, I'm going to take baby photo shoot style pictures with the
With
sourdough
the
starter.
sourdough.
I'm going to wrap it in a baby blanket, put it in a bassinet. I'm going to wrap it in a baby blanket, put it on the swing set, put it on a little tricycle, just so everybody gets the hint.
Just so we're clear about expectations,
Right.
guys. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Look how well I took care of your non-baby sourdough could be baby. Look
Yeah.
at this. Look how much fun we had with the sourdough could be baby. It'll be great. I can't wait to see those photos. Sheila
And
Gunreed. I
when
cannot
she
wait.
sees this, she's going to be mortified. I'll tell everybody what we're doing around here, and then we'll get into the news of the day. If you're watching us on Rumble, it's a great free speech platform. They don't care about your politics, and I believe that's how social media should be. It should be the digital public square. And if you want to support our work over there while having your say, might I suggest a Rumble rant? That's their pay chat over there. If it's over the $5 US cutoff, we're reading it on air. If it's under that, we'll do our very best, time permitting, and regular viewers of the show that we really do our best to get to those. If you're watching us over on YouTube, we're nearly 2 million of you are watching us in some form or another. We have almost 2 million subscribers over there. Their paid chat is called Super Chat. Same rules apply, but there's an additional way to support the show. Let's say you feel bad for me because I'm nursing a sourdough starter as though it were my proxy grandchild. You can leave a paid comment called a super thanks over there. And that's it. Let's get into the news of the day. Actually, no. One more thing before we get into the news of the day, although I think this is good news for the state of independent journalism in this country. And as you know, we were really the trailblazers for independent journalists here. And I serve as the president of the Independent Press Gallery, where I advocate for the rights of independent journalists in this country in an increasingly government dependent media landscape.
Mhm.
You don't have to be left or right to join the IPG. You just have to swear to decline government funding and then meet some basic journalism standards. So that's us. If you are an independent journalist, it's only $10 a year to join us. And we offer seminars, training with real life lawyers on defamation, your rights in the public square, all
Yeah.
sorts of things. So it's a real benefit to you. Plus, you get a
The
cool
value
press
is
card.
incredible. Yes, the value of the membership is incredible for what you get as a member.
Yeah.
I've so enjoyed all of the professional training opportunities that the IPG puts on, um, and how welcoming they are to independent press in Canada. I've referred a bunch of people
You sure
to
did.
yes, I sure have. If you're telling stories in Canada, it makes sense to be a member of the Independent Press Gallery because then you're not in it alone.
Right.
Then you're
Yeah.
not in it alone. So it's an awesome
There's
organization.
value in the collegiality of it, that's for sure. Because especially if you don't work for a platform like Rebel News or True North, and you're out there alone, you really do need some support,
Yep.
especially with defamation for sure. If you're taking swings at bad guys, which I think is what you're supposed to do as a journalist, you're supposed to speak truth to power and
Mhm.
advocate for the voiceless. Those guys with a lot of power will do everything they can to shut you up.
Yes, they
And
will.
and we want to show you ways to make your journalism bulletproof, and we do that. But we also this year are celebrating independent journalists. We have the Independent Press Gallery Awards. A few months ago, we called on independent journalists, and if you are a member, you would have gotten that email to submit your work for our awards. And our finalists are announced, and the Independent Journalism Awards luncheon takes place, I believe it's August 30th. It's in Toronto area. But I want to highlight our finalists, and you'll see some Rebel News journalists in there. I was not involved in the selection. I didn't get to see who applied. I wanted to make sure our independent awards were as independent of me as possible.
I see a bunch of names that I recognize here.
Yes.
Just this reading a list of these finalists is like reading a who's who of my favorite journalists in Canada. Truly, truly, you guys. Like, look at this.
Yep.
Look at this list. We have Natasha Graham in Montreal. We have Ellie Canton-Nantel. Just excellent. Kian Simone. I mean, just the best guy in the world. Our tattoo twin. Our tattoo twin.
Yes, that's right.
Drea Humphrey, obviously, crowd favorite. Melanie Bennett from Juno News, who has been doing some incredible work. I mean, Alexa, listen, Tamara Ugalini, I love all these people. How would you even pick? How would you even pick amongst this field of absolute greats? It's beautiful.
And
congratulations to everyone involved.
Yes, we've got people who work for larger platforms, people who don't work for any platform. And I'm excited to see who won. And again, I reiterate, I wasn't involved in the selection process. I wasn't involved in the judging. I didn't see any of their submissions. We had a panel of 4 independent judges who spent, I think, probably 10 hours, 16 hours
adjudicating
these things. And thanks to our judges who put a lot of work into this, and thanks to the independent journalists in this country who continue to work hard in spite of the attempts by the government and powerful people to shut them up.
It's 1,000 times harder. It's 1,000 times harder for these people to do their work than it is for a mainstream media corrupt journalist working in that sphere who accepts the paycheck. Who accepts the paycheck to lie to Canadians. So it's 1,000 times harder for the people on this screen to do the same amount of work, and they should be commended. I mean, every day they should be commended. So I'm so happy to see the Independent Press Gallery doing this.
Yes, and I think it's independentpressgallery.com. Is it IPG.com? Why don't I even know the website? Anyway, yes, independentpressgallery.ca. I only memorize the entire catalog of Rebel News
Sheila
URLs.
This is a true story. Before I will even search my phone for a URL, I just go to you because I know you know them off by heart. And I know about 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like, I have the hard 3 in there, but the rest I just go to you to check what it is.
You know, some people gamble, some people eat their feelings, some people smoke. My boss buys URLs, and I think it's probably a less destructive addiction than other people. But anyways, it's independentpressgallery.ca. You can, if you're in the area and you want to celebrate independent journalists and join them, you can get your tickets for the awards luncheon at that website.
Wonderful.
So, yes.
Wonderful.
All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the news of the day. The China-NATO spy scandal. We talked about it yesterday on the show.
Please recap it. Recap it.
So, at NATO in Belgium, actually.
Okay.
A Canadian intern of Chinese origin was arrested for allegations of spying at NATO's HQ.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And Gary Nandasangri, he's got his finger on the pulse of the problem here.
Oh.
He says he needs to get to the bottom of this. And from what I understand, the onus is on the member countries to security clear these people
Really?
before they go. So this is like
A big oops. A
this is
big
like
oops.
this is NATO, okay? And
Yep.
she's an intern from China who's Canadian who's been accused of spying. So let's hear what Gary Nandasangri
Yeah.
has to say.
NATO interns are usually vetted by member countries. What does it say about CSIS and RCMP vetting processes now that a Canadian has been accused on spying on NATO?
What I don't want to do is speculate on this specific case. I do acknowledge that there was a recent arrest in Belgium involving an intern with NATO who is a Canadian national. As a country, we will continue to investigate the processes we have and the security screening. It is an ongoing work that we do, and in this particular case, I think it's important to get to the bottom of what happened, and that is a commitment that we make to you today.
Confident that the alleged spy has not worked for another Canadian government department and has not passed on information to a hostile foreign government?
What I will say is that the allegations that have been made are quite serious. Canadian law enforcement and Canadian authorities are continuously monitoring and will monitor the impact of the work this individual has done, if they have done any work in Canada. But ultimately, we need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to ensure that these types of incidents do not occur in the future.
Yeah, thanks. Of course you do.
So wait, let me see if I have this right. Gary Nandasangri is basically saying we see that there may have been a loophole that was accessed by this Canadian person, and this person escaped RCMP vetting. Maybe she got through that, but we're going to leave it to the RCMP to keep on monitoring things. We're going to trust the same people that likely let her have this job to clean up this mess. Like Gary Nandasangri, the human shrug. If I have ever, because foreign interference is, as you well know, Sheila Gunn-Reid, quite important to deal with when it's identified. And yet the Liberal Party of Canada is just like, what can you do? What can you do? It's not like we can check them all. Oh my God, how embarrassing.
Well, and it's something for the public safety minister who was flagged as a security risk by the Sri Lankan government to talk to us about foreign interference. And the security analyst that CTV News talked to said that it's no coincidence that this person is Chinese because the Chinese play the long game. He said, we need to figure out if this is a one-of, if this is a multi-agency problem. I'm pretty sure it is, given that we have at least 11 parliamentarians that, were involved in some form of foreign interference in the last election. The security analyst asked, can our allies trust us in the future? No. How is CSIS or the RCMP vetting? What does it mean for future interns? He said it's going to cause a cascade of multi-agency security reviews.
And yet to hear Gary Nandasangri tell it, they're just gonna keep an eye on things. Try and do better next time. I mean, honestly, it's embarrassing. They're treating it like a PR crisis and not like the national security crisis that it is. Like this is so par for the course for the Liberals, is minimizing their own involvement in things that they get wrong, spectacularly wrong. But now we get to do it for the world stage. So welcome, NATO, to the typical Canadian experience.
Thank you. We run elections like this.
We are so delighted that you get to experience it yourselves. Like, this is excellent. Can't wait for the truth to come out.
We don't do anything about this stuff. In fact, we have our prime minister sign their nominations and then they go on to win elections, or they get appointed to the Senate, and And that's just how the way we do business around here. But we'll learn more about this from the Belgians than we will learn from our own government. That's for sure.
Call us, Belgians, call us.
Yeah. Because the only reason we know that this was a Canadian national of Chinese origin is because the Belgian prosecutor's office said so.
Interesting. So the Canadians didn't even take accountability for that, or at least display any transparency around that. And what other country may be involved?
Do you know, good thing we...
Yeah, go ahead, babe.
I was just going to say, good thing we did that entire commission on foreign interference.
Good
thing.
Have that in our back pocket.
Good thing I sat through all of that day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, sunrise, sunset.
The Lord's work. Okay.
Only for on the very last day for Marie Hogue to say that we're not going to find out anything.
Right. I'm not entirely interested in releasing any of this information to the Canadian public in any meaningful way. Thank you so much for attending. Mm.
I wish she had told me that on day one.
Right.
Right? Then I would have just checked out and did something else.
False advertising. Advertising.
Okay. Let's get into Canada/Alberta news, the nexus of Alberta and the rest of the country.
Yeah.
They call him a cartoon drawer. I'm not sure. He describes himself as a cartoonist for the Toronto Star. Theo Moudakis.
Who's okay?
Okay. He's the guy with the incomprehensible left-wing cartoons, like newspaper cartoons.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes.
Please enjoy my cartoon for Tuesday's Toronto Star. Not sure I will. Pierre Poilievre making a deal with Trump. You know, if you have to explain what your cartoon is at the top.
Oh.
I'm not sure. It's like explaining when David Menzies explains his joke, and it's like, I understand. I'm not laughing for a reason. Okay, I'll trade you Baltic Avenue for all your properties, all your houses and hotels, and all your money. And then Poilievre saying that's a good deal.
Because he does know that Poilievre is not the prime minister of the country. Like
right.
He is aware that north of 90% of Mark Carney's investments and holdings are in American companies. Like he knows that, certainly, right? He knows that. Like what a cheap shot. What a cheap shot.
Like
unreal.
Poilievre isn't negotiating with Trump at all, and quite frankly, that should be Carney on the other side, given his
exactly
negotiating expertise on the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Theo, how embarrassing! You drew the wrong character there on the right. Like, oops, it's really quite embarrassing.
Right, like the Gordie Howe Bridge, where Carney lied about, like the point of cartoons again is sort of being the court jester in the days of old kingdoms, where that was literally the only person who could tell the truth to the king in a satirical sort of prickly way.
Sure. This
isn't telling the truth to the king about how he has no clothes.
This is taking cheap shots at the leader of the opposition, an official role within Canadian Parliament. It's embarrassing. This is actually embarrassing.
Yeah. And again, who's the guy who flubbed the deal? Deals?
Multiple plural?
Mark Carney.
Mark Carney. That would be Mark Carney, the one with all of the holdings in American companies. That's right, Theo. Anyway, happy to help, buddy.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. You told me to enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it because you had to explain the joke, and the joke was bad. And
yeah, well, it makes no sense, and it's not rooted in reality. So there's that,
Good job, Theo.
Yep. Well done, buddy.
Oh, my sides from the laughing. Okay, this from and on the topic of the Toronto Star, because I don't know, Theo Moudakis, he works for the Toronto Star. The Toronto Star, this is from our friends at Blacklocks, says their federal subsidy, which they're fighting to maintain, because the federal subsidy for journalism is supposed to come down. It won't. Just watch. Buys ethics.
Excuse me?
The bribe by this ethics, Lise. Can't you see? Parliament must maintain their secret subsidies for the Toronto Star to promote, quote, ethical governance. Its publisher has written MPs. Payroll rebates worth $30,000 per newsroom employee, just so you know what we're dealing with here, are set to roll back to pre-COVID rates of just $14,000. Again, these people barely make over $30,000, some of them in these positions. If this subsidy is not maintained, their jobs vaporize. So now do you understand how hard they're fighting for the Liberals?
Yes, exactly this. And isn't this the Birdcage Liner newspaper that employs Bruce Arthur?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
this
one.
the same one? Okay, never has a guy ever had a wrong take on every topic like Bruce Arthur. As if you ever, just for fun, if you ever have just a couple minutes to go read all the wrong opinions in the world, just peruse Bruce Arthur's Twitter page. Okay, that's it. If there is a wrong take to have, Bruce Arthur takes it. And you know who pays them? The Toronto Star. Yes. The faster they go out of business, the better.
Yeah. Yep. Goodbye. What did they say? Loss of news jobs and outlets reduces coverage, leaving public and private power with fewer checks and depriving Canadians of the information they need in their everyday lives as citizens, consumers, and workers.
That sounds great, actually.
So you
sign me up.
Will Theo Moudakis lose his job? Because that's okay
the cartoonist?
too.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Will the cartoonist lose his job? Everybody pray.
That's fine.
I mean, what else? I mean, actually, that's probably one guy, because what kind of transferable skill would that guy have? Doodles in a bathroom? You know what I mean?
Graffiti. Graffiti on a grain car?
Yes. He'd probably be okay with that. Well, but they don't use AI to do that, and it looks like, I don't know. I don't know if he illustrated. I don't know.
Do we, Efron, do we have the clip for this? I think Juno actually had the clip for this. This headline from the National Post should send Lise into orbit. A Liberal sports secretary says the IOC, so that's the International Olympic Committee's new gender screening rules are going back in time. That's Adam Van Couverden, said this in Calgary, as if this wasn't a direct swipe against Danielle Smith, who's ensured fairness in sport for female athletes. And he was there in a presser with, I think even Smith was there, to announce new funding for high-performance athletes, including Olympic hopefuls, who will, under the Liberals' diktats, lose their opportunities, but not here in Alberta. Anyways, let's just watch this.
Interesting.
Would you have any reservations about the federal government participating in Olympic bid under IOC gender identity rules, the new ones announced in March, that some advocates are calling discriminatory?
I had not considered whether or not the IOC's recent update would have an impact on a bid process. I would say that no, it would not. But I would also leave it up to female athletes to, speak up for themselves on whether or not they feel as though gender testing, sex testing is a dignified approach to selection in sport. And I'd be prepared to advocate for them and to amplify their voices as well, because I'm quite concerned that going back in time 30 years to a time when that was commonplace will be harmful to sport, and particularly women's participation in sport.
Oh, you're muted, Lise. Lise, you're muted.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're muted, and I'm sure that you're right off the rev limiter. So give her.
Well, calling basic biological reality going back in time is rich for a party that has done more to erode rights for women and girls in this country more than anybody. Protecting women's sports and fairness is not regressive. It is the absolute common sense solution to this gender madness that has taken over the country. Ignoring, as a matter of fact, I would say ignoring the sex-based rights is an actual of women and girls is the actual retreat from science and fairness. Like what the Liberals have done to harm women's ability to succeed in this regard by letting men self-ID into our spaces, into our sports, into our experience is just incalculable. So it's really rich that this guy, you know, this ferry kayaker from Vancouver, to chime in on what he thinks is best for women. Like, thanks for the mansplaination, Adam.
Yeah. He says, oh, well, I would just advise those female athletes to advocate for themselves.
You think they haven't been, Adam?
They did. And the IOC listened and Alberta listened.
That's
Why
right.
aren't you?
That's exactly. Thank you so much, Sheila Gunn-Reid. Bears mentioning that in Alberta still, the female powerlifting records, 3 of the 5 female powerlifting records in Alberta are currently being held by men. By men. 2 of them being a trans-identified person, and one of them being
a guy who just did it to prove a point.
He was the coach of the female team, and he's like, wait a sec, this guy could just come in, like this obvious dude could just come in and say he's a woman and compete in the women's category. And they're like, yep. And he's like, I'm competing as a woman too, then, I guess. So this is what this is. And he only entered the competition so the trans woman wouldn't win a 3rd record.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hold a 3rd record. It is wild. The Liberals are so insulated against any accountability as it pertains to this issue, and it is such a huge issue. He should be ashamed of himself. He should be ashamed. He should be run out of Calgary proper, okay? Back home to the left coast. Never to see you again, Adam Vancouverden.
Well, and then he says, you know, like, we don't want to go back 30 years when we were doing this sort of testing.
Let's why were we 100 then? Let's go back 100 then, Adam. My goodness.
Do you know why we were doing this testing? Because we recognized that testosterone was a performance-enhancing drug for women, and the East Germans were literally transing their female athletes for the sake of winning things. They were dosing their female athletes with so much testosterone that they didn't turn into men. You can't turn into a man, but their facial features were changing. Sure. They ended up with long-term health effects just based on the sheer amount of testosterone that they were being given in a form of cheating. And so they started testing because, well, you know, and it is a performance-enhancing drug. Moron.
And the craziest thing is we've had a system of categorizing people in sport forever. It's biological sex. It's observed at birth by the mother. Okay. If we just stuck to that, stuck to that, what the mother sees when the baby comes out, none of us would be having these stupid conversations. But because of Adam and his fancy friends in the Liberal Party, they decided that by some miracle, some very special men could turn into women. And all of those very special men started invading women's spaces, and it's a huge problem in Canada. And Adam Vancouverden can go, well, he can shove his kayak. That's what I got to say. That's what I have to say.
Yes.
He can decide where. Okay, I won't even tell him where to put it, but he can go shove it.
Still from Blacklocks, I'm just going to skip ahead of a few things just for the sake of time.
Yep.
Apparently, we've been importing a bunch of foreign comedians, unemployed foreign comedians into the country. Yeah. Yeah, you know, the temporary foreign workers come in all forms. And it's bad when the bureaucrats are warning the minister that this is like crazy. What are we doing? But that apparently was the directive from ministerial bureaucrats. Immigration Minister Lena Diab. So she's one of the dumbest. And, you know, there are some dumb ones, Adam Vancouverden included, but she is really just a blinky idiot.
Yeah.
Her department in an internal report questioned the point of a program that allowed thousands of jobless foreign actors, comedians, and artists to enter Canada in the name of cultural enrichment. The program aims to attract individuals who will make a significant contribution to the cultural or athletic life of Canada, yet it does not describe what qualifies as a significant contribution or outline which aspects of Canada's cultural or athletic life are being prioritized. A total of nearly 8,000 people were admitted. Evidence suggested the program's vaguely described objectives and lack of measurable outcomes have led to a varied interpretation of its purpose. Most immigrants let in through the cultural program were Chinese, Iranian, and Indian. Most listed occupations as creative and performing arts, including they have to just be self-described. Painters, coaches, photographers, and actors and comedians.
Can I see any evidence of your photography career? Yes, scan my iPhone, scan it. Look at what an artist I am. How completely embarrassing. Like, the government of Canada seems unaware that every time they invent one of these harebrained ideas, all of the bad people jump on board, and cultural enrichment should not be a blank check for unemployment overseas. This is what they've done. Like, who? Okay, listen, show of hands, everybody. Who here has gone to a Chinese/Iranian/ what was the other country, Sheila Gunn Reid?
Indian
comedy show or festival in the last 2 years? Go on, show of hands, everybody. So that's none of us. None of us.
I did go to see Ben Bankus, though, with you.
Oh, just the best. The best. But no, truly, what a monumental waste of resources and effort. We like, it's almost like they're saying Canada doesn't have a culture. We need to import foreigners to tell us how to culture. That's what they're saying.
And their employment earnings were atrocious. So they can't even justify this, saying that, like, they're economic generators, they're selling out these shows and blah, 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 blah. The overall median income was $19,500. So these people are making less than coffee shop employees. And they're just coming into the country. And then, of course, because they're so low income, we top it up the rest of the way. It's not like they're poaching, like, American comedians to come to Canada or star in a CBC production. That's not what's happening. These are just scammers.
Actually, though, when you think about it, so it was China, Iran, and India. Right. So Canada is treating Chinese, Iranian, and Indian immigrants so poorly that they have to bring in, like, glee clubs from other countries as to not demoralize the new immigrants to the country. Well done, government of Canada. My God, you guys are just killing it over there.
You know what? If you can't get in as a temporary foreign student or a temporary foreign worker, have you tried making bad jokes?
Have you tried weaving a basket?
Right. There are ways. Silly putty, sculpture, all kinds of things. Interpretive dance. Yes.
That's the one you would go with. I know it. I absolutely know it.
My interpretive dance is mimicking those
inflatable
wavy hand guys. I love that.
I saw one yesterday and took a picture, and because it reminded me of you, truly.
I see one and I have to stop and just throw my hands up. I can't help it. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do the bad one, Efron, and then the good one before we hit an ad break, because the bad one is horrible.
Oh.
CP24, so that's Toronto, reports that a foreign Uber driver sexually assaulted a woman in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
Then the woman left. He followed her, captured her, sexually assaults her again. And the media assures the audience she wasn't hurt. Just listen.
An Uber driver is accused of sexually assaulting a woman in Burlington twice. Police say that on June 16th, 25-year-old Mandeep Singh approached a woman in the parking lot of a Burlington GO station and sexually assaulted her. The victim left, but the accused followed her to a nearby business and assaulted her a second time. She wasn't physically hurt. Singh is facing 2 counts of sexual assault, and police are concerned there may be more victims.
You do not hate the media enough. And just in case you missed it, I'm going to replay a part of this, but only one part of this so you can understand why you should hate the media more if you don't hate them enough already. So this woman was sexually assaulted. She gets away, she leaves, he follows her, captures her, and then sexually assaults her again. And listen to how the media portrays that.
The victim left, but the accused followed her to a nearby business and assaulted her a second time. She wasn't physically hurt.
My God.
Right there. She wasn't physically hurt. He tracks her down after he sexually assaults her a second time, and the media says she wasn't physically hurt. And they did that because they want the listener, the audience, to subconsciously think, oh, this isn't a big deal. You know, they want to downplay the crimes by foreigners. This is all very intentional, and it's sick.
Yeah. Agreed. This is the predictable result of not doing compatibility checks or any basic vetting of people when they come into the country. And this soft language, she wasn't hurt. She wasn't hurt. She was sexually assaulted. That means twice. That means inherently that she was intentionally harmed twice. That they would claim this is crazy, but obviously, like this soft language and these open borders, of course, put Canadian women at risk. Of course, it does. Yeah. And I think on this show a couple of times I've told you about the crazy things that have happened in Ubers to me over the years. For years and years and years. Actually, it happened last time it happened was at the Rebel Christmas party in Toronto. Do you remember Sheila Gunn-Reid? I nearly got abducted.
Yeah. Yeah, and you are the most likely amongst us to potentially get abducted.
And then not know it. I would just be having a fun time. No, but this is disgusting. He should be immediately deported. Yeah. Neutered, and then deported. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the newsreader on CP24 wrote that, but whoever wrote that news copy fired immediately.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
She wasn't hurt.
She wasn't hurt. Imagine being that woman and hearing that.
She wasn't hurt. It was fine.
It's fine. Totally nothing. Okay, so that's bad. Let's leave on something good.
Okay.
A Canadian politician. Now, this is a conservative MLA. I forget where this is from, but anyways, he reads the AI prompt aloud in the legislature in his speech. His staff used AI to write the speech.
Shut up.
And then he read it and kept. So they left it in for some reason. Maybe intentionally. Maybe they don't like him. But anyways, he reads through it in just boomer fashion and keeps going.
Oh my God.
That exceed the powers actually granted to those offices. Here's a more natural flowing version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points. Madam Speaker, one of my concerns with this legislation is the potential gap that exceeds...
Here's a more natural version.
This is so embarrassing.
That's Bill Oliver.
Bill, if the Conservatives weren't hanging on right now, okay, I would just suggest that you walk away from this altogether. Just leave right now, because you can't get worse than this. You can't get lazier than this. Because all day, every day, Bill's office would be receiving feedback from his constituents on matters that are very, very important to him. And that this is how much they try for you when they're in the building. This is actually disgusting. It's Bill and all of Bill's staff should be dying of secondhand embarrassment.
Do you know what? I just found that he actually did it twice in the same speech. I got another angle of it where it's edited.
I want to watch it. It's so cringeworthy. Like,
I just want to jump out of my skin.
This is arguably, well, it's insulting. It's insulting.
Yeah. Okay, let's, I mean, like, your staff paid to write things, just write things. Like, just write it. Efron, do you want to show it? Because they showed, like, he actually did it twice in the same speech.
What province is he from, sorry?
Nova Scotia, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points. Madam Speaker, another concern relates to expectations. One of the dangers associated with creating advocacy offices is that citizens often develop expectations that exceed the powers actually granted to those offices. Here's a more natural flowing version of that section that reads like a legislative speech rather than a series of short points.
Come get your grandpa.
Madam Speaker, one of my concerns with this legislation is the potential gap between what New Brunswickers may reasonably expect this office to accomplish.
Come get your grandpa. Come get your grandpa.
How did that make it into his hands?
An embarrassing calamity of the most epic proportions. This makes me want to FOIA their offices for their chat GPT logs. Like,
you
honest to God.
I want to FOIA their offices for the fallout from that.
Oh, girl, we have to. Like, we absolutely
writing it down.
Yeah, absolutely have to.
Bill
Because
Oliver's office.
Absolutely embarrassing is that? And again, well, listen, a copy paste mistake is easy enough to make. Who doesn't make it? You know what I mean? Who hasn't made those kind of clerical errors before? But when the people of the province that elect you to go to speak in the legislature about things that are important to them, and expect you to help, and then you give them this, you just regurgitate what the internet told you. Like, it's actually embarrassing. It's arguably embarrassing. Yeah, we should get away from that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like, we should be real scared. We should be real scared if our elected officials are relying on ChatGPT to govern us.
Yeah.
These are the people, remember, these are the people that said that Tumbler Ridge was almost entirely made possible by AI chatbots. Remember how they blamed that whole thing on AI chatbots?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go. Ban them from government. Ban government from being able to use it. That's what would make us safest.
Right. Let's hit an ad break. Come back on the other side. I got a fun story from Saskatoon I want to talk about.
Hey folks, do you love a good cup of coffee? Are you, like me, banned for life from visiting Tim Hortons? Well,
no, we're not. No, not everybody is.
Not everybody.
Just you and me.
But I am. Folks, I have great news. Check it out. This is Rebel News Special Edition Coffee. Rebel News and Resistance Coffee have partnered to bring you something special to wake up to. Resistance Coffee is a family-run Canadian coffee company, unlike Tim Hortons, by the way. And while the big chains wrap themselves in the flag and turn their backs on Canadian workers, Resistance Coffee has been doing the real thing all along, available only at rebelcoffee.ca. A 5-pound bag and bundles qualify for a $9.99 flat rate shipping nationwide. It is worth every penny. Folks, this is great coffee, and this is the coffee to brew. Rebel News.
In Canada, firearms owners like me understand the importance of safe, effective self-defense options. That's why we're proud to have Byrna as a sponsor. Byrna's less lethal launchers are designed to help protect you and your family without taking a life. Byrna offers peace of mind, accessibility, and a practical layer of personal security for Canadians who value safety. Learn more at byrna.ca/rebel. That's byrna.ca/rebel.
For generations, many Canadians have preserved more than just firearms.
Many of our men and women
They've preserved history, tradition, competition, memories. But under Trudeau, and now Carney, heirlooms, estates, collectibles, and competition firearms now have to be surrendered and destroyed. While violent gun criminals get pass after pass, openly ignoring any legislation, lawful gun owners are trapped in an increasingly unfair legal system. But we can help. Canada's National Firearms Association's Save Firearms program offers the legal pathway to preserve what matters, while we work towards a political solution. Don't let yours be next. Save history. Save heritage. Save firearms. Visit nfa.ca today to learn more.
Canada's been told to just quit smoking for decades, same message over and over, and yet millions of Canadians still smoke. So let's ask a follow-up question. For those who don't quit, what about change? In 2026, Canada has options that didn't exist years ago. Smoke-free alternatives for adults who would otherwise continue smoking. That doesn't mean risk-free. It means informed choice. If you don't smoke, don't start. If you smoke, quit. But for those who don't quit, change could still be part of the conversation. That's why Canadians should check out unsmoke.ca, an information resource focused on smoke-free alternatives and honest facts, not judgment. Put the lighter down, Canada. Learn what your options are.
Okay, fun story out of Saskatoon.
Tell me.
I saw it this morning. If you don't regularly check in on the Canadian Taxpayers Federation social media accounts, what are you even doing? This fun story from them today. Saskatoon spends nearly $300,000 on 3 plastic rocks as property taxes climb. Gage Halbrick, who is the Prairie director, he says, "I can't believe I need to say this. Taxpayers shouldn't be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for plastic rocks. It's ridiculous and disrespectful to taxpayers that anyone at City Hall thought this was a good idea. 3 oversized plastic rocks, which look just like real rocks, by the way. And I'm reliably informed that you guys have rocks in Saskatchewan. I've even laid my eyes upon them myself.
So that size rock, its scientific name is called a leverite because it's so big. You got a lever right there.
Right.
But I can guarantee you, this is what I can guarantee you. They could have brought in 3 similar sized rocks from a local farmer who would gladly give them away and transport them for less than $300,000.
You know, one of the smartest things I've ever done as a farmer is to put rocks on Facebook Marketplace, and city people, they just come get them.
The landscaping rocks. Yes, absolutely.
They just come get them. It's a fascinating thing.
We used to do that too when we had a field full of them. Yeah. We used to do that too.
So like my kids pick them for free. City people come and take them away.
Yeah. You make a quick little buck. Enjoy. And then a little piece of you sits on their front lawn forever.
Right.
Yes, because they're so heavy. You just move them once and then they're just there forever. Yeah.
So Saskatoon's getting a nearly 7% property tax increase.
It is unhinged in Saskatoon right now. Yeah.
And previously on public art expenditures, they spent $100,000 on a color-changing illuminated sphere or spheres installed in a downtown alley. Sounds safe to look at in 2023, and more than $8,000 spent painting doors in the same alley the following year. How long do you think those stayed painted nice in downtown Saskatoon?
Yeah, it's not the best place to hang out, what with all of the homeless and drug-addled vagrants. Yes,
right.
Stumbling out of the bushes. Actually, I have the funniest story about being in Saskatoon with a different friend, not this one, not my Sheila Gunn.
You don't have any other friends. You're not allowed to.
This other friend is very high strung. Okay,
no,
she is just very sensitive. I know. This is why I take you places and don't take her places, Sheila Gunn Reid. You will hear why. We're in Saskatoon. We're going to a Backstreet Boys concert, right? Later in the evening, but we spend the afternoon on Saskatoon's riverfront. It is so beautiful. I can't even tell you. We have our toes in the water. We have our little boom box going. And out of the bushes comes this noise. Okay, just behind us. A man stumbles out of the bushes and is undressing as he's approaching the river. And I'm like, oh my, what is even happening? He literally 10 feet away from us poops in the river. Like right there, like 10 feet away. My girlfriend, there was a mama swimming with her baby or playing with her baby just like 10 feet down from us this way. No. And my girlfriend just looked at everyone involved and said, we're leaving. But listen, you have a beautiful city. You have a beautiful city. Why would you mar your own taxpayers by making them pay for stupid things when you have homeless people pooping on your beaches, Saskatoon? Like, explain that to me.
The same could be said for Edmonton, but the good news is for those homeless vagrants in downtown Saskatoon, they now have a very interestingly lit place to shoot up and rocks to sun themselves on.
That's, I guess, the long and short of it. Well done, Saskatoon. Every municipality should endeavor to follow in your footsteps.
Yes.
Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't be like Saskatoon. This is embarrassing.
So the Conservative Brain Trust, by which I mean Corey Tenike, he's been saying some crazy things about about what should be done with the West's natural resources in a trade war largely proliferated and instigated by Eastern premiers, with the exclusion of David Eby. He said that there's a trade imbalance because of all the energy we sell to the U.S., and the West should just cripple their economies to help out Doug Ford. For some reason, he's wearing a beret.
Oh, the pretentious nature. Is he in France?
Is he trying to, is he,
he
I don't know, is he trying to be cute?
He looks like he's trying to be cultured. Okay.
He looks like a Theo Moudakis cartoon.
Bad one. A non-funny one.
No.
Okay, let's hear what this goof has to say.
Yeah.
Trump is going to bring his full weight and leverage of everything he can to these talks to try to break us. And I mean, oil and energy is one thing. That would be kind of a nuclear thing to do, and we might think about that hard. But if we don't bring potash to the table, we're not serious.
You know what?
I don't think we should stop trading potash or energy with the United States, but should we put an export tariff on it? Yeah, we should, because when we look at what's going on in terms of counter or tariffs on our economy, it's about trade imbalance. Why do we have a trade imbalance? We have a trade imbalance because of all the energy we sell to the United States. So there's a way of looking at this in which the blame for the tariffs can largely be put on the fact that we're making those energy sales, and the U.S.'s addiction to that energy is our best leverage. So if they want to tariff everything except the one thing that's causing the trade imbalance, I would say Trump's justification is horse shit. That's not a surprise, but there is a tell in that as to where the pressure point is. Like you can't go into a fight with somebody where only they use the leverage they have.
So, Mr. Tonight and friends, I actually wrote an Alberta fact check at albertafactcheck.com because I just couldn't see this stupid argument floating around anymore. Besides,
without going unchecked.
Because, you see the left say these are Canada's natural resources and Alberta is still part of Canada, so we can do with them what we want. Incorrect. Incorrect, my Federalist friends. Do Alberta's energy resources, and the same goes with Saskatchewan, do they belong to us? The Constitution says yes. And there's actually 2 laws that bequeath control over these things to us.
It's really clear.
Crystal clear.
Not at all nebulous about who the natural resources belong to.
Yeah.
They do not belong to Ottawa. Go ahead, Sheila Gunn.
Yeah, in 1905?
Yes. The natural resources.
Right. So when we became a province, Ottawa retained control of our natural resources, except for people who were on the land before 1905. My family included. We're freehold mineral rights holders of our land. We still hold the mineral rights. But in 1930, the agreement transferred those resources to Alberta, giving the province the same constitutional status as the older provinces. They're ours, hands off. Our jobs are not the sacrificial lamb on the funeral pyre of Doug Ford's trade war. We're not doing it.
And the first thing that they brought up is potash. How come? How come, guys? Saskatchewan, the nation's largest producer of potash by a country mile, doesn't want your advice on how to best market or export our natural resources. Thanks, boys. Thanks for allowing me to clear this up and for being able to assert that your take on this is unwelcome and wrong and completely wrong. But yes, Ottawa does not get to treat Alberta and Saskatchewan's natural resources like their personal piggy bank, and yet that's exactly what they've been doing. Keep talking like that, Corey. Keep talking. You're just growing baby separatists.
Now, and then he goes after Scott Moe and Danielle Smith, who are very pro-pipeline, as you know, but basically says, oh, you don't want to join our trade war?
Interesting.
Wouldn't it be a shame if something happened to your little pipeline?
There is no escaping the reality that we're all going to pay the price for this, and having a better agreement with the Americans helps everyone, right? And in order for people to be successful, if Alberta wants to be successful, it wants to have pipelines to Tidewater. It wants to have pipelines going east and west and north and south. It wants to have infrastructure so it can export, and wants the country to work for itself and us to be all Team Canada when it comes to that. Well, then when it comes to trade negotiations, there is a pro quo to that quid. And that is, you got to work together. And like, if you want the country to work, and you say you want to, this is all a challenge. If a pipeline project is a challenge to whether Canada can work, well, then guess what? Being united in trade talks is a challenge as to whether Canada can work too. And you can't just be completely self-centered on and small-minded about what constitutes your interest on this when we're fighting with our largest trading partner, because there is no escaping the economic consequences of CUSMA going down in flames. And I don't care whether you're Scott Moe in Saskatchewan, or whether you're Danielle Smith in Alberta, or whether you're any other premier in any other province. We're all in it together, baby. And so I think it's unfortunate, but I don't think we're going to get through this easily, and I don't think we're going to get through this without a fight, because the U.S. wants to fight, and so we're in a fight.
We don't want to be in it with you, though, baby. That's the thing. We don't want your brand of antagonistic and frankly damaging communication style with the United States. He wants a better deal for Canada. How about a deal? Okay, that's what the rest of us would be happy with, a deal. But mouthpieces like this get in the way of that deal from actually happening.
We are keeping the rest of this country currently afloat right now. We are creating the vast majority of the jobs in this country, while the rest of the country, their jobs are declining. We contribute more than anybody else in equalization. That's thanks to our relatively strong economy. You want us to go on some sort of suicide kamikaze mission because Doug Ford, your boy, can't keep his obnoxious mouth shut?
Yep.
Forget it. You know what this makes me want to do? Turn off Line 5. You want us to turn off oil and gas to the Americans? Okay. Well, do it your way. Let's turn off Line 5. That goes to the Americans, but it also goes to you. You want to play this game? You want to play something? Imagine what would happen to your cute little pipeline? Okay, let's find out what'll happen to one cute little pipeline. We'll turn off Line 5 and see how you guys like it.
Turn off the taps. Well, this is where the West is at. This is where the West was at. And I just think it's really interesting that they started with potash, right? They started with potash, then sort of looped around to oil and gas, and then looped around to Scott Moe and Danielle Smith. And what that is an orchestrated attempt to somehow disparage or discredit Scott Moe and Danielle Smith's approach, when it is clearly the only approach that has been working. It is crazy. We wonder how Doug Ford manages to get microphones thrust in front of his face to say the stupidest things imaginable. This is the guy that's coaching him. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. I just wish that Doug Ford fought as hard for the jobs of people of Ontario as Danielle Smith and Scott Moe are fighting for the jobs of the West, because they are willing to fight the media, the conservative brain trust of Corey Tenike, and many of their fellow premiers, just to protect our jobs. Doug Ford should do the same and just do one thing and shut up.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
One thing I want to talk about from the Alberta Fact Check series. There's a bunch of things on the board, but we can get to them tomorrow. I think is this one, I think, most important one. So on Friday elections, Alberta announced that even though the court had blocked the verification of the signatures of the Stay Free Alberta petition, they were able to count them subsequently. And as it turns out, Stay Free Alberta did pass the bar to trigger a referendum on independence, even though now they have to have a referendum on independence. So if the rules were followed without the activist courts getting involved, we would just be having a referendum on independence right now, instead of having to jump over a bar to jump over a bar. But here's the most important part that was missed in that press release. Did Elections Alberta find evidence of fraudulent signatures on the independence petition? No. Elections Alberta says its verification process found no evidence that stolen voter information or fraudulent signatures were used to qualify the petition for a referendum. Some signatures were thrown out on a technicality. There was no fraud involved with it, which I think is incredible given that there were 7,000 volunteers involved. They showed that, because Elections Alberta had seeded names into the data that was allegedly stolen from the Republican Party of Alberta in that major data breach. And what they did was, in that database, Elections Alberta seeded names.
So they put in names so that they could easily search and identify them if that list ever got leaked somewhere else. Gotcha.
And if those names would turn up, then they would know that Stay Free Alberta had their hands on that list.
Interesting.
They found no evidence. So as part of the verification process, Elections Alberta screened the petition and has confirmed that none of the signatures submitted came from the seeded names on the Republican Party of Alberta's list of electors. So they never, and they were accused of having it repeatedly. In fact, a bunch of NDP liar types were online saying, I didn't sign the Stay Free Alberta petition, but I was getting a phone call from Elections Alberta to verify my signature. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. None of the leaked list of electors, none of those people, not one name turned up on that list, you big fat liars.
Sorry, I have to sneeze.
That's okay.
Sorry. Oh, it went away. It's fine.
Yeah.
I squashed it. It's fine. Oh, well, that's good. Well, it's really incredible to know that they put those seeded names in to try and catch any impropriety in there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So all the rumors from the NDP types were just that, rumors and lies.
Yep. And we're all well and good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well done, team.
Yes. I think, I know we're over time, but we can just, what's the one I wanted? Oh, let's talk about the Fauci diaries real fast.
Please.
Because while Fauci, who was giving advice to tell people to stay locked inside their homes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then the Canadian government was following his advice, basically word for word, he was having dinner with Jake Tapper. While going on TV and writing it in his diary. This is from John Nolte, who, if you don't follow him, he writes for Breitbart. He's really funny. He does a lot of old movies stuff, but yeah, I just and he posted this. Had dinner at my home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relaxed, good time. Anthony Fauci diary entry, October 23rd, 2020. Meanwhile, in the rest of the country, you were finding out your loved ones died thanks to posted notes on the windows.
On the windows of the hospital. Yeah, look at this. Never forget that terrible time and what they did. Never forget this terrible time and what they did. Well, it'll be really interesting because he's being pulled in front of, is it Congress, Sheila Gunn Reid?
Yeah, Congress tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. This is a man that many people think that should be
completely in jail
for the rest of his life for what he did to us at that time. And look at this. Just had a relaxed, fun time with my friends Jake and Jennifer.
So John Nolte over at Breitbart went through some of the diary already, and he goes through the timeline. Efron, I put it in the chat because it is so sickening what these people were doing behind closed doors while condemning us for simply wanting to do the same. Just reminiscent of Jason Kenney up there on Sky Palace having his whiskey party. Fauci and CNN condemned small household gatherings just 1 week after the Fauci Tapper dinner.
And this was a good 8 months into it. October 20. It was March when everything locked down, right? Like the 2 week. Remember, guys? Remember when they said
2 weeks to flatten the curve?
Flatten the curve. This is 8 months into it. So while the rest of us were being told we couldn't see our loved ones, we couldn't communicate, we couldn't care for our elderly, we infringed upon in the most gross way upon our children. These people were, just nothing changed in their lives. They were not impacted at all.
Yeah, he said, here's what Jake Tapper and Anthony Fauci were up to while small household gatherings were condemned. Schools were closed. Thanksgiving gatherings were shamed. Nursing home residents were denied access to loved ones. Mourners were banned from funerals, including my mother's. Small businesses were shuttered and churches were closed. On October 14th, 2020, far-left CNN published a report warning about the dangers of small household gatherings. And then John goes on to quote it. What we're seeing as the increasing threat right now is actually acquisition of infection through small household gatherings, and particularly with Thanksgiving coming up, we think it's really important to stress the vigilance of these continued mitigation steps in household settings. That was from the CDC. According to audio of the call obtained by CNN. For example, reports for Vermont, Washington, Delaware warned against community transmission in smaller gatherings of family and friends where masking and social distancing recommendations were not followed, recommending increased messaging regarding the need to take these measures, especially given the element of prevention fatigue. And then here's what Fauci said. We don't need to do that. But then the following week after that, on October 23rd, Fauci in his diary wrote, had dinner at my home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relax, good time. Jake clearly believes that Trump is totally nuts. Hit 83,000 new cases today, the single day record since the beginning of the outbreak. Surge continues. A few weeks later, on the danger of Thanksgiving, this is his public statement. We know for sure that people who are without symptoms innocently, with no malicious or malintent at all, go to a party or goes to a gathering, gets together indoors. You let your guard down. You obviously have to take your mask off if you're eating or drinking. Try to avoid that as much as possible. And that was the second dinner Fauci had. The first was a few months earlier in July 2020. Terrific couple, friendship building.
Unreal.
Yeah. 3 weeks after that dinner, I'm sure they wore, anyways, it just goes on. But he was also feeding questions to Jake Tapper.
Well, sure.
To ask Trump officials to try to push them in the right direction. Do you think Jake Tapper and this guy, Fauci, were masking at their dinner parties at their houses that they were having behind closed doors while shaming people for just wanting to do the same?
That's right. Do you think that they hollowed out, those water bottles and wore them on their head like astronauts? Like other people had to? Remember those crazy days, you guys? I bet not.
Yeah.
I bet not. I bet there was no consequence for these people whatsoever. They just continued living their rich, privileged, elitist lives.
Yeah. People were damaged. Generations of kids were damaged. People were injured.
Sheila, I'm so happy I'm actually so very happy that you brought up kids. The Dean Allison.
I'll dig that up.
Inquest, is it? Is that what we're calling it? The Allison?
The Allison Inquiry. Yeah.
Inquiry. Thank you. Not inquest. Inquiry. The Allison Inquiry has brought up how very profoundly children were negatively impacted by this. And I just want to thank Dean Allison for remembering them. Every child that was in their growing up years in COVID was enormously harmed by what happened during that time. And I just want to say thanks for thinking about them. They're still not okay, Dean. They're still not okay.
Yeah, I just posted. It was a Toronto Sun. It's from their editorial comment section. And they note that approximately 115,000 Canadian kids fell through the cracks during COVID.
Yeah.
And those are, again, just the ones we know about.
Oh, there are many, many, many hundreds of thousands more that were negatively impacted, but didn't leave the system, that are still in the system, that are still being abused by the system that took away everything that was normal to children at that time, everything that was normal to them. It's really sick. And then another thing that happened during that time is they had all of these COVID broken babies who were just so lonely and so bereft for like just playing, just having access to their own peers, having access to know how people are looking or feeling by being able to see their faces. Remember, we robbed children of the ability to be able to tell if somebody was smiling or crying. We did that to them, and it's had such an extraordinary impact on their lives growing up. And then to add insult to injury, all of these little broken kids that they created, they came along in the schools afterwards and said, oh, are you sad? You lonely? You isolated? Well, it couldn't be what we did to you during COVID. Maybe it's a gender itch you want to scratch, and then led them down that path, which is as, equally as destructive. But again, thanks to Dean Allison for thinking about them. I think it's the first time I've ever officially seen a member of our political class acknowledging that kids were harmed, and they were. Of course they were.
Yep. Okay, I think we should get to the chats. We'll do double cringe tomorrow. Okay. 2 cringes, because we don't really have one today. I was going to keep the Saskatchewan one for the cringe, but I think we can do better. Okay. I think we can do better. We'll do double cringe tomorrow.
Wednesday,
yeah. And if you follow me on X, beloved viewers, if you've got an idea for the cringe, just send it to me.
Oh, we want to see it.
Yeah.
Something extraordinary, that is going to make everybody just go, send it. Right. Send it our way.
And I like to bank them up because Lisa and I do an annual show called the 12
Days of Cringemas.
The 12 Days of Cringemas at the end of the year.
A special Cringemas episode. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's our favorite. It's honestly a crowd favorite to I know our viewers love the cringe at the end of the day, and the Daily Delight too.
And the Daily Delight, yes. Yeah. Okay, so Sasquatch Chronicles gives us $4.99. Gary Nandasangri from Sri Lanka is on the case, everyone. Don't worry, Canada. Yes.
It's true.
Gary Nandasangri can't touch any cases that have to do with Tamil extremism because of his work with Tamil extremists. So
it's not the wild.
Safe. Don't you feel safe?
Checking in safe from the land of Gary Nandasangri. Yeah. Thanks, Sasquatch Chronicles. You're the best.
Sasquatch Chronicles also gives us $4.99. Chat GPT, here's a more natural flowing version of your comment. Great show today, ladies. Yes,
bro, she's so good. It was just the worst. It was arguably the worst.
Oh God, who would do that to someone's grampy?
Come get your grampy.
Yeah. Also, fire your communication staffer and then just hire ChatGPT because you don't need both. You don't need both.
Listen. Save the taxpayer. Just pay for a premium account. Just go ahead and do that.
Yep. All right. I think that's the show for today. We're 20 minutes over. Started 6 minutes late, but that was the problem.
Well, we needed to catch up. It's a catch-up day for you and I, so we got to do that. And so thanks to everybody in the control room who makes this amazing. Thank you, guys. We needed this.
Yes, thank you, Efron, for letting us go long. I'll make sure we have a double cringe and a daily delight for tomorrow. I promise. I just didn't do it today because the sourdough. My sourdough grandchild got me. No, I was actually doing other work. I'm working on a project with David, but I was fussing over the sourdough earlier. But I'm working on a project with David about the MP expenses in Ontario.
David Menzies.
So, anyways, stay tuned for that. Okay. I'm cataloging them. So we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Buffalo panel where we talk about issues, at least for the first half hour, facing Western Canadians with some Western analysts, I'll call them. I was going to say commentators, but they're more than that. Thanks, Efron, for putting the show together. Everybody who works behind the scenes at Rebel News to make sure it's there for you to watch however you want to watch it. Thanks to those of you who engage with the show. It really does help us get in front of more people. And we're so close to the 2 million subscriber mark. As always, talk it over with your doctor, your family, and see if Rebel News is right for you.
Ask your doctor if Rebel News is right for you.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. And as we frequently say on the show here, if you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all.